Hello, everyone. This is Asbed Bedrossian.
And this is Hovik Manucharyan.
And we're doing a daily touch base with Gev Iskajyan on the latest conditions during the Artsakh Blockade. Gev is with the ANC in Artsakh, Nagorno-Karabakh. He lives in Stepanakert. Today is January 14, 2023. Hey, Gev, how are you?
I'm doing well. Hope you guys are good.
Hey, good evening, Gev. Why don't we start with a quick update on the day? How is the 34th day of the blockade going?
Yeah, so today we're in day 34. Basically, everything is at its same pace with the complete blockade, the energy blackouts, and the food rations. The one thing I would say has changed a little bit today, and it's made things a little bit tougher, is the 2 hour rolling blackouts that we had in different areas throughout the city and throughout Artsakh. We've seen a few more of them. So if the last few days it was 2 hours per day, today it's been close to 4 or 5 hours.
Gev, we understand that the internet connection is bad because we've been trying to reach several people and it's sporadic, and even when we try to connect, it's a very unstable connection. Is that related to the blackouts or?
Yes. So unfortunately, many of the internet cable lines that come through and service certain areas in Artsakh, there is a rolling blackout at that time. In that certain area, they also, not only will they not have electricity, but unfortunately, they won't have internet either. For example, today in my area, from around 8 o'clock till right now, just shortly past 12, we not only dealt with the blackout, but coincidentally, alongside that, the Wi-Fi has been cut off as well. So that can explain why it's been difficult to reach people throughout the country.
Okay, thanks.
As far as shops and stores are concerned, yesterday when we were talking, you mentioned that there are a lot of businesses closed. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, unfortunately, we've had over 200 businesses close, and that's to a few varying reasons. One of them primarily happens to be the fact that the import of goods is at a complete standstill. So many of the shops that rely on selling these, it becomes kind of pointless when the store shelves are completely empty. So unfortunately, those places have shut down. And then additionally, with rolling blackouts, certain areas, they simply can't function without electricity, many of the shops. So we've had, unfortunately, over 200 businesses close here in the Stepanakert area alone. And alongside that, we've had a couple thousand layoffs for people with jobs. So there's the socioeconomic impact of that. One, you have less people at work, so the unemployment rate goes up. And then secondly, which is a detriment to state governance here, we're going to take a tax hit. The more that the shops don't operate, the more that there isn't business turnaround, it becomes difficult to help fund so many of the things, the socioeconomic programs that the state relies on.
How is it in the regions? Have you been out to the regions like Mardagert, Marduni?
Yeah, so I've been able to, during this blockout, I've been to areas like both Mardagert and Marduni. So there's the positives and negatives. To a certain degree, when we have a less supply of goods coming in, agricultural products, the villages kind of step up because we've got greenhouses there, we've got people in rural farming and such. So they help provide the city areas, city centers like, let's say, Stepanakert city or Marduni city. It's the surrounding villages that help keep it up. Unfortunately, again, with the blackouts, again, with the business closures, some of the more urban areas here have taken a stronger hit.
Yeah, on the topic of business closures, I think I just want to remind our listeners that the Kashen Mine is also closed. It was closed as a gesture of goodwill by the Artsakh side. And
pending some kind of an international review of its operations, I think.
Of course, yeah. And it is a huge source of revenue for the government. So, yes.
And it's a massive employer too, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But you're right, Hovik. Yeah. And it's an employer for lots of good jobs here. So unfortunately, that's taken a halt as well.
Anything else we want to add?
One thing that I would add is that there's a lot of different rumors that you may hear here and there. And my sort of only word of caution is to not immediately trust everything you read. And I think in the next few years, there's going to be increased amount of misinformation. And I know it's difficult, but I think that we should rely on things that are official before we start spreading news and sharing, especially in this sensitive time. I don't know what you think about that, Asbed and Gev.
Well, I absolutely also advise that if you hear something, if you read something, verify, find the same information from other sources. Check Grung, actually, our Facebook group. We try to cover items from a lot of different sources.
Yeah, and hold on to official announcement if anything does happen. The government has done a pretty good job of keeping a transparent line of communication. So if there are any changes, if there is anything that is newsworthy, it will come from the official sources themselves as well.
Great. Okay, Gev,
Perfect.
let's talk tomorrow again.
Sounds good. We'll talk soon.
Yeah.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good evening.